Hey everybody, this is Richard and Steve. We're the co-owners of Anime Magic Inked, and today we're sitting with Amy Porter, who is the owner of Alchemy Tattoo Studio and Gallery. So tell us a little about your shop, Amy.
Yeah, so we're Alchemy Tattoo Gallery. We pretty much opened in 2020 as a small private studio, which is me. I quickly realized that I love having other artists around. So towards the end of 22, I opened our location in Elgin. And at that point, I think we had 2-3 artists. We had a lot of success. We started expanding more. We started having events. We quickly realized that space was a bit too tiny. We were a bit squished when we had our cat show, which was way more popular than we anticipated. We had a line that wrapped around the building. It's like, wow, a lot of people like cats.
Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
Had no idea. Oh my gosh. But it was great. And that really did encourage me now, though. And it did show me that, okay, maybe we need to expand. We need to get a bigger spot. And I stumbled upon this location in Lombard, and it is beautiful, more than enough space. All of our artists are super happy. We have individual rooms, and we have 7 artists now, including myself. And we all pretty much dabble in anime. Some of us specialize in anime, but everyone does have their specialty. So
yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for inviting us to your shop.
Yeah,
you gave us a little tour, me and Steve, right before we sat down to do the podcast, and I'm blown away. I mean, seriously, like I've been in other tattoo shops, and this one is a perfect mix. I love the private studios that you guys have. We're sitting in your personal studio right now, so you can see, if you come get a tattoo from Amy, what that might look like a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's super awesome. I love all the artwork you guys have, and each room is personalized, to the artist. They decorated their own studios, which I think is just super awesome.
Yeah, and that was super important for us, for everything to be immersive, and you're just surrounded by that person's like artwork, their vibe and personalities, and depending on who you get tattooed by, it's totally different.
Yeah, some of the rooms were kind of like dark academia, like moody, and then some are like this one, very bright, colorful, pastel, kawaii, super cool. Like
you could tell right away this is Amy's.
Absolutely.
She didn't even have to tell me that, and this is really not what I expected. I mean, I saw pictures before I came out here, and the pictures does a disservice how nice and big this place is. It is just amazing. This does not feel like this is not what I expected.
So, well, we put a lot of effort and I appreciate it.
I could tell a lot of heart put into it.
I want to come get a tattoo now.
Yeah, I do too.
I like, seriously. Yeah. It's really cool here. I really like it. So actually we're about to be back here soon in just like a month, a little bit less than a month, because we're going to be here for Amy's hosting an event called the Anime Inc. Artcade event, which is going to be July 20th from noon to 6 p.m. You want to tell us a little bit about the event?
So the event, it'll be a lot of fun. We're going to have 2 guest artists, Luis Ramirez and Ying Ting. And then I will not be tattooing, unfortunately. I will be hosting, though, running around, hanging out in cosplay. All the artists, they'll have flash sheets. We're going to have an arcade set up, which I'm super excited about. Big dream happening there, having arcade machines in a tattoo studio. How cool.
Very cool,
and then we're going to have a Yuki Clan snack as well. And they are just amazing people. They're going to be bringing treats and drinks for sale, and then they might have some gashapon machines too. We'll see what we can do with that.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah,
it does sound really cool. I know I'm excited to check it out. So anybody out there who is a fan of Anime Magic or a fan of Amy's studio, please come to the July 20th event, and we will see you there. So let's just jump right into our conversation for the day. We're going to talk a little bit about anime tattoo culture, but before we do that, I wanted to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Electrum Ink, who is the exclusive provider of ink products at Anime Magic Inked this year, which is November 21st to 23rd. So let's talk about anime tattoo culture. I think it's always a great spot to start to talk about, why are we interested in anime tattoos? You know, let's talk a little bit about. How about you, Steve? Why are you interested in anime tattoos?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
One I ask myself every day, because I'll be the first one to tell you an inside joke, is I absolutely have no tattoos.
Yeah.
So I am not an expert on tattoos by any means, but I've learned a lot about tattoos over the last 1 year, 2 years growing
especially the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you've been exposed to it at Anime Magic, you know, the bigger con in August, you know, just having Steve is our director of security at the bigger show, for those of you that don't know. And he, being the director of security, does not only security, but everything like health and safety. So, you know, Steve, you've always been sort of in charge of the tattoo alley, making sure the health inspections are done, making sure you're corresponding with the state health department, things like that. So you've kind of been involved with tattoos from the beginning, you know, but yeah, in the last couple of years starting Inked, you've been blowing up with knowledge, you know.
Exactly. It's definitely a culture that I'm learning, and I love it. Actually, it goes really hand in hand with the anime culture, the people, the tattoo artists I've met. It seems so in sync with one another that, you know, seeing like a studio like Amy's where there's so much anime that I'm looking at right now, it's mind blowing. But they both complement one another so well, and I just think it's such a perfect mix. And with our show Inked coming up, it's really the best of both worlds. You know, for people out there listening to this, you know, you can come get a tattoo. We're going to have over 100 tattoo artists this year. We've grown it. But you can also come enjoy the anime side of it, because that's what Rich and I originally come from, is anime, from Anime Magic.
Yeah.
And so you have the best of both worlds, similar entertainment that we have at the big show, such as cosplay, voice actors,
panels.
Yeah. Our nightlife music is going to be phenomenal again this year.
Yeah. We have some big stuff planned for that.
We got some big plans. We got some special guests, and just keep an eye on that, because we'll have a lot more announcements coming up.
For sure. Yeah. How about you, Amy? I mean, tell me, you're the expert, right? So tell me, like, why are you interested in anime tattoos specifically?
I've just also loved anime ever since I was a kid. So I drew anime characters very crudely when I was a child.
Yeah,
and
me too. Yeah, me too.
I've just loved it ever since. It's kind of funny, but I didn't know being a tattoo artist was an actual job.
Yeah.
I didn't know people did it as a career for a really long time. So I pursued other things. But when I saw you could be like a tattoo artist and actually make a living and not just live off of ramen.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this might be something to look into. And when I first started tattooing, I would be lucky if I got to do one anime tattoo a month.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't very popular back then. And they were very simple. It'd be like a logo from Fairy Tale or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now it's so different. People are getting full leg sleeves. I'm working on a one-piece leg sleeve right now, and I am so excited.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of large scale, big projects. And I love that people are not afraid to just show that.
Yeah.
And I've heard even from clients, they'll run into other fans of anime at a Target.
Yeah.
They'll see their tattoo on their forearm, like, oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then they'll have a conversation, and it's so cool that it's just so much more, I don't want to say accepted, but it's a lot more mainstream. So
I think that's a good way to put it. I feel the same way about other parts of anime culture in general. And people have always asked me this when I do press interviews, or even when I've been up on stage at the conventions and I do an open forum, people always ask me that stuff. And one of the things I always say is, I'm just I feel like it's so much more mainstream now, anime culture in general. I mean, you have major brands, right? So Porsche did a collaboration with an anime brand. You have Coach that does Naruto gear, stuff like that.
I didn't know that. That's
you
so
have
cool.
some of these brands that do major stuff, entering into this. That's how mainstream it is now, So I feel like it's a similar sentiment then with tattooing. And, for me, this might sound silly because I have very limited tattoos. I'm going to get more, I promise. But having anime tattoos in a big way at our conventions started, at Magic with the Tattoo Alley, but it was kind of a dream when I started Anime Magic to have at least one or two tattoo artists that do anime at the show. Because when I was growing up, I went to conventions. We just talked about this earlier, since I was 12 years old, and I remember back then, early on, I saw one or two at a convention before. And I thought it was like the coolest thing. You know, I wasn't old enough to get a tattoo, but I was like, when I turn 18, you know, I was like, I'm going to get a tattoo at a convention, you know. And then it kind of fizzled out. At least here in the Midwest, I didn't see tattoos at anime conventions. So for me, it was like, why am I interested in anime tattoos? It comes from that side of it, going to conventions, seeing them prior, and then they just went away. And I was like, I want to bring that back, you know? So we did, it grew, and now we have an anime tattoo convention. So, you know, it definitely kind of came back. And I think to your point, it is a lot more mainstream, you know, there's a lot more people that are interested. It's a lot more accepted. And I think, you know, one of the things that you said that I want to point out is like you'll be at Target or something, right? And you'll see somebody's anime tattoo. I've done that before. It's a great talking piece. And you can make friends that way. You know?
Absolutely. It's such an easy way to connect with someone.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if they're willing to get that tattooed,
yeah, right. Exactly.
They must really, really love that anime. Yeah. And if you like it as well, it's so fun just to be able to geek out about it.
Absolutely. Totally. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I couldn't agree more, you know. So, you know, I think one of the things that I'm always interested in is I own a business in anime. You own a business in anime with anime tattoos, right? Yeah. And I'm kind of curious from your perspective, owning a tattoo studio where you heavily, you know, do anime tattoos here. What are some of your experiences and thoughts on the industry, you know, itself? Like, what kind of difficulties have you faced maybe because we know the upside, you know, to anime tattooing. It's a great conversation piece. You can make friends. Have you faced any, you know, difficulties running the store at all?
I feel like some of the challenge could be a lot of individuals will look at realism tattoos or, you know, styles that they think are a lot more difficult, and they will almost set those on a pedestal above anime tattoos.
Interesting.
But I feel with anime tattoos, they involve so much work with like pre-planning and illustration and color studies and fully rendering the image. At least that's what I do when I tattoo. I need to fully prepare. I need to know exactly where that glow, where that shadow is going, or I get stressed out. And I love to just be able to hang out with my client and just have a conversation. I don't want to be thinking of how, you know, Tanjiro's hair is going to be glowing. So I think people sometimes with like tattoo contests, even you don't see, well, maybe previously in the past, you didn't see anime tattoos placing, you know, for second place or anything like that. Now there are like subcategories for anime tattoos, which I do appreciate. Yeah. But you still do see a lot of those like realism tattoo artists kind of get held to, I don't know, almost a little bit higher up.
A different standard kind of. Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, being on the other side, I'm not a tattoo artist or even close to it. Like you mentioned earlier, you used to draw, you know, crudely anime characters as a kid. That's where I stopped. You know, I never went further than that. If I tried to draw anime today, it would still look like that, you know? So I wouldn't have thought about that because to me, even if I look around your studio and I'm looking at, you know, some of these artworks, even, you know, these prints that you have, to me, I've always looked at anime art as being, you know, so detailed, so much goes into it, right? And I guess I'm just shocked to hear that kind of. I know realism is, you know, an art form of its own too, but that's super interesting.
Yeah, I think the industry is changing. People are starting to appreciate the artistry of anime tattoos. It was just like when it was kind of up and coming, it was just like, oh, there's just tracing. You know, that type of thing. So
that makes sense. I could kind of see that, I suppose, especially if you don't have a background with anime or you don't have any sort of barometer for what goes into creating, you know, manga, anime, that type of artwork, you know. So that is interesting though. I wouldn't have expected that.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of layers and levels, especially if you know certain animes and you're talking to a client, you can put like little Easter eggs in there. You know, you could really add so many layers to it that like a fan of that anime will notice. It was like, oh, I see what they did there.
I love that kind of stuff. Yes. So I couldn't make any reference to a tattoo, obviously, but I've seen artists that we have in our artist alley that create these I don't know what you call them, murals or something, you know, but it's just like that, where it's like there's so much hidden stuff, and the longer you look, the cooler it gets.
Yeah,
you know, where it's all just in there. And if I actually bought one from an artist. I really wish I could remember their name, but I have it at home. And I need to still put it in a frame, but it's from Naruto, because I'm a huge fan of Naruto, and it has like all the characters from all the seasons. And the longer you look at it, you start noticing and picking out all those tiny little details. And some of them are really small in there, you know. And I just love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like those old, you know, Find Waldo books or something, you know, but anime, you know, is very cool.
Yeah, I have a print in the corner over there, and it's all based on rhythm games. And there's like rhythm games that are like so old that people probably never even heard of them.
Yeah.
And when I saw that print, I'm like, that is an instant buy for me. Yeah. I'm obsessed with rhythm games. So I just thought it was like the coolest thing.
Same, definitely, for sure. So, you know, what are some trends that you have seen with anime tattoos or anime culture in the last few years specifically? Like, has there been any shifts or changes with that sort of thing? You know, the type of anime tattoos that you find yourself doing. You know, I know there's always trends in any industry. Like, for a while, everybody wanted tattoos in a certain spot, you know, or they want like, I don't know, I'm making stuff up maybe, but like I heard cyber sigilism, right? It was like big for a while, that kind of stuff. Yeah. With anime tattoos specifically, have you noticed any of those kinds of trends where people are like always coming in going, give me that, you know?
Right. Yeah. I feel like when there's a new anime like popping off, everyone wants to come in, like Dan to Dan.
Yeah.
A lot of people wanted Turbo Granny.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's these new animes that come out, and then there's a character that people just resonate with, and they're like, I need that on my body right now.
Yeah.
And it's so fun. I really loved when Free Run came out, and then I got more and more requests for Free Run tattoos because I love that anime. Actually, I hadn't watched it prior to doing my first Free Run tattoo, and after speaking with my client, that encouraged me to watch it because it was just so incredible. I cried. I was such a big baby. I get very emotional with anime. So, but what I've seen, I mean, it's probably because of I focus on large scale anime tattoos, but it seemed like before, like some of the anime tattoos were a little bit more subtle and smaller, and now people are totally comfortable just going all out with their scale and size.
I've seen some that were huge. I mean, like you mentioned earlier, like leg pieces and stuff. We saw one of those at the show last year, actually.
Yeah, I'm starting to see them more and more.
I'm seeing them more and more too. Yeah, I've noticed that.
When you do like a full leg, how long does it take to do?
Oh my gosh.
Just
there's no way to even like estimate.
Yeah.
It's so long.
Well, it probably varies design by design too,
it
right?
Does, it depends on the characters and how much, you know, detail they have. If there's going to be like some sort of atmospheric like energy field or source or power or sword, anything around them that can all add to it. I completed a Final Fantasy X leg sleeve like 2 years ago, and that took me 3 years to complete. She wasn't coming in like every month, but you know, it still took a lot of dedication and a lot of time because it was full color. So
I've always wondered that. I'm like, this got to take forever.
Like,
I see a full
it takes
leg
a very,
or a back
very long time.
Even a full sleeve, and I'm like, how long does that take?
Yeah, so like the top of the thigh might take like 10 hours to do. So like 10 hours, you know, if you think about it,
it's
like
how long do people sit on average for something like that?
So I usually tattoo. My max is 6 hours.
Okay.
Because I start to get kind of fatigued and tired.
That was my next
get a little
question.
Achy.
Yeah.
So there are tattoo artists out there that will literally go for like 11, 13 hours.
Wow.
I could never. I'm not that type of person.
That's really long.
I think also with like pain management for your client has to be just like so tired at that point. And I mean, some clients are even exhausted after 6 hours, and that's the longest I'll ever sit for a tattoo is 6 hours as well, because I think after that, my body is so fatigued. It is rebelling against me. It's like, what are you still doing here? You need to leave. So
it's funny because I know I mentioned earlier that I don't have a tattoo, but I'm thinking about getting one this year. I have a hard time sitting still for 5 minutes. So I think this may take me like
something real small.
Yeah, something really small or like a lot of visits at 5 minutes. So I really like my max.
That's interesting. Yeah. that was going to be my next question is, as a tattoo artist, it's like how long until you get fatigued, you know, because I've always watched tattoo artists when we go to other tattoo conventions, and some of them are tattooing all day, whether it's multiple clients or, like you said, large, you know, pieces that they're doing for people. And I sit there and I look at that and I'm like, Steve, I can't sit still for, you know, longer than 10 minutes. I got to get up and take a break and walk around, and, you know, so I look at that and I go, you know, if I was doing something manual, you know, with my hands and such mental focus, you know, it's got to be fatiguing, you know?
Yeah, it's exhausting. And that's why I do all my rendering before.
Yeah,
Before my tattoo, before ink even touches the skin.
Yeah.
I want to know where all my shadows, all my color, everything is going, just because, like, I enjoy talking to my clients. I like connecting with them.
Yeah.
And it's hard to figure out where everything is going if I don't already have it mapped out. So
yeah, that's so interesting. I wouldn't have thought of that,
No,
you know, but yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What you guys do as tattoo artists is incredible. I mean, that's part of the reason I find myself drawn to, I mean, combining anime with tattoos is awesome, but I find myself more and more drawn just to the tattoo culture and community the more we learn about it, you know, you and I working on this stuff, because you know that it's permanent. You know that when you think about tattoos, but you know, when you really start learning about what goes into it, you know, the process, it really is such an art form. I mean, I say that because everybody knows that, right? But it's like, you really don't understand the full scale of like all the work that goes into it. Like, I've run into people that, you know, go, you know, it costs so much money to get a tattoo. And it's like, but they're, you know, doing something that is not only permanent, but there's so much work behind the scenes that goes into it. It's not like they're just sitting down and tattooing it, right?
Right.
So, you know, that part to me is really interesting.
Yeah, it really was. Last year at Inked, I was amazed watching all the artists doing their work.
Yeah.
All working all day long. It's like not even taking breaks, or very limited, and just the time and effort. But that was my first exposure to actually seeing the tattoos being given, ever.
Yeah.
And I was just amazed at the quality and the artwork, and you know, them putting into it. So it really opened my eyes to how much more that it is than just a tattoo on an arm, and the expertise of what they do.
Yeah. And then someone like Amy, you're so detail oriented. So it's like, if you come get tattooed by someone like Amy, you know, you're getting all of that legwork that went into the tattoo before the tattoo is going on your skin.
Yeah. Usually
you know?
I wake up at 6 a.m. to start drawing.
What?
So, so I draw my tattoos the morning of the appointment.
Yeah.
And that sometimes consists of doing like research and everything as well.
Of course,
I start at 6 a.m.
Oh my God.
drawing, and then
You're stronger than I am.
Little break to eat, and then I come into the studio, and I'm usually here by like 10:30 to set up, clean up, chit chat with my coworkers.
Oh my God, I'm ashamed. You're getting you're like already deep into your day when I'm just getting my day started. You know, I'm kind of just like finishing my coffee and getting started with my emails at 10 o'clock, you know, like, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, some artists draw at night, but that's not me. I can't draw after a full day of tattooing. I don't know how people can even do that. That sounds exhausting.
Yeah.
And other people draw on their day off, and I don't want to do that.
That's fair.
I have enough going on in my days off, so.
That's fair. Yeah. I guess that's a great segue. Tell us a little bit more about you, Amy, as a person. If there's people that are interested as a client potentially to come see you, what are you interested in? What's your favorite anime? Let's start there, you know?
So my favorite anime of all time is Cardcaptors. It's what I grew up with as a kid.
Nice.
It inspired
Classic.
so much of my artwork. I have a tattoo on my forearm of Kiro.
Oh yeah.
He has a little parfait. It's
my God.
very cute.
That is very cute. Yeah.
My favorite modern anime so far is like Free Run. I'm obsessed. It's such a beautiful story.
I haven't
love
seen
the
it yet.
pacing. Oh, you need to see it. It will make you cry.
That's probably true. Yeah.
And so I do enjoy cosplay, although I'm terrible at sewing. I buy things online and then I modify them to fit me better, and I can add like accents to it to make it a little bit nicer.
Yeah. I think, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think you're better at it than you think you are. And I'm going to reference it was 2 or 3 years ago. I apologize to you. I think you'll remember this, but you approached me in the convention hall. You were wearing a racing Miku outfit.
Oh, yeah.
And you were like, Richard, hey. And you were so good at the cosplay. I didn't know who you were. And I was like, hi, you know, because like I was like, who's this person hugging me? You know, like I didn't know who you were.
Yeah.
And then I very quickly realized it was Amy, and I was like, oh my God, shit, I'm sorry, you know? But yeah, I always laugh at that. So I think you're better at it than you think you are.
That's the cool part of cosplay, though, because I've had clients walk up to me and I'm like, who is this? And
Right,
I can
yeah.
see their tattoo. I'm like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
I know who you are.
There you go.
So it's incredible how it can really just transform a person.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love cosplay. I have like 3 different versions of Mitsuri from Demon Slayer. I'm obsessed with her. If you look around, you will see various Mitsuri prints and standees and tons of stuff. But I don't get to do that as often. I spend a lot of time with my nieces and nephews.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
I have 3 cats, so
Very cool.
yeah, I love spending time with them. And yeah, I do a lot of renovation work on my house, so that keeps me super busy because houses are so much work.
Yeah. Yep.
And I do like gaming from time to time too. So yeah.
Do you sleep at all?
Yeah, sometimes.
A little bit. Yeah.
A little bit here and there.
Exhausted just hearing this.
Right. Yeah. Not waking up at 6 a.m. to start tattoos. Yeah. Yeah. That's super cool. Yeah. It's kind of similar for us actually. Like Steve and I are always working on the business. You know, we're always, if we're not meeting for the business, we're meeting to hang out, and then we end up talking about the business anyway. You know, it's like that.
So
and then free time. You know, same thing. I personally do a little gaming and stuff. You know, Steve, you're kind of an outdoors guy. You know, you really like, you know, fishing, and you have a boat, you know, down in Florida.
I like boating, fishing, anything outdoors. I'm not an indoor person. I'm outside. Even when I'm home, I'm probably outside 90% of the time until I go to sleep at night. I just always like the fresh air and sit on the porch or the backyard and that was one of the reasons why we moved to Florida too. I'm from Florida.
Yeah.
Is that I'm outside year round now, which is nice. I grew up in the Midwest my whole life and dealing with all the cold, the snow, the ice, and all that. And I miss it sometimes, but you know, but
it's easy to forget. Like this time of year, it's late June. And it's beautiful outside. Yeah. You know, maybe a little humid, but, but it's beautiful. And you have these 3 months in the Midwest where you're just like, oh, it's so nice, you know, and then the winter hits and you're like, why do I live here? You know? Right. Yeah.
The never-ending winter.
The never-ending winter. Yeah. You go outside and the cold hurts your face and you're like, what
it hurts to breathe.
Yeah, you know.
It's terrible.
Yeah, so that's cool. Steve, I know you haven't seen like a ton of anime. I've been trying to like push anime on you, you know, to watch.
It's been working.
I know.
I've been dabbling in watching some on Netflix and
a little bit here
getting
and
a
there.
little exposure and probably my first experience. I'm going to date myself here for anime would be Speed Racer.
Speed Racer,
and
classic.
That was my favorite show of all time. And so when probably about 5 years ago, when Rich asked me to work for him and be on the board for Anime Magic, and I didn't even realize what anime was at the time, and I'm like, wait a minute. That looks familiar.
Yeah,
and it's
like I know a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. So I'm getting there. So
for me, I'm always into the classics. Everybody asks me that. What's your favorite anime? That's why I ask everybody else. I get a chance to ask, you know, since everybody asked me, and mine will always and forever be Cowboy Bebop. You know,
it's a great one.
It's a classic. I know it's kind of cliche, but to me, it's a perfect masterpiece. You know, and I know I'm really gassing it up, but
no, it's an amazing anime.
I think it's amazing. To me, it was everything about it, from the storytelling, the animation, the artwork, the music was just the voice acting. Oh my God, you know, so and good. I typically watch anime subtitled, you know, but I really like the dubbed version of Cowboy Bebop. It's excellent. So, you know, I always go back to that one. It's one that I could watch over and over and over again, and I do, and it never gets old. So that's probably my favorite, you know. But it was so nice, you know. Thank you for inviting us to your studio. I can't wait to walk around again after we end this podcast and check stuff out. We're going to take a few photos and stuff, but like, it is so cool here. I can't wait. So as we're ending and kind of wrapping up, can you tell us, you know, everybody listening and watching, what is the address to your studio? If you have any open hours, your social media, just let's go ahead and promote you. Cause after watching this, everybody's going to want to come here.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So we're located in Lombard. We're at 26 West St. Charles Street. We're in the downtown area, and we are a private studio, so we're not really open to the public. We do have a open Saturday once a month. I believe it's the third Saturday of the month, but you could check our Instagram. We do post when that comes up, and then you're welcome to come by, visit the studio, check out our art gallery. If our artists are available, you can chat with them as well. But we have upcoming events, and then everyone's welcome to join for those. So
absolutely. And that's a great reminder. Again, if we haven't said it enough, please come out to the event on July 20th here at the studio from 12 to 6. We'll be here, so you can chat with me and Steve, and obviously you can chat with Amy if you come out and play some rhythm games. I think there might be DDR. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, seriously, thank you again for having us out. We can't say thank you enough. This is probably, in my opinion, one of the best shops in the country. So if you're looking, it doesn't matter where you're, listening or watching from. If you could be all the way across the country, if you, book a tattoo here, you're going to get the absolute best care, the best tattoos, the best experience. I'm still blown away. Like, I'm just shocked. This place is awesome.
I'm the same way. Yeah. It's not what I expected. And, just a phenomenal place. And I've been to other shops before, and this one is really just tops them all. I mean, so far. I mean, Rich and I are going to visit a lot more shops in the future and do similar interviews and podcasts, but this is a great one to start our first one.
The perfect one to start.
The perfect.
Appreciate you guys.
Definitely. Well, thanks again. For everybody out there watching, thank you for tuning in to our first episode. And we will see you next time. Take care.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy.